Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? Having a very rough day, actually. No vertigo, no vertigo, just a rough day. Weather's bad outside. I've got some allergy thing going on. It's been a rough week with the allergies. I'm still able to function, but kind of feel like that underwater thing. But what I want to talk about is how many times do you see something and you see one word and then you run with it. And you don't read the whole thing. Okay. A lot of people do this. They see the one word and they run with it. In case in point, we'll talk about Ebselen. And before I get started, I'm saying it right now. Yes, I do want it to pass and I hope it helps a lot of people. I really, really do. I know personally for me, it's probably not going to do much. And that's because of my situation. But I really do, but sometimes people sit there and say, you don't want it passed. You want us all to suffer. No, that's not the case. And that's what I'm talking about. They hear one word and run with it. But case in point, absolutely. Um, Earlier this week, I saw a post in a group I run where a woman actually contacted her doctor and wanted a prescription for it. And the response she got was, it's not approved. I can't write a script for this. I mean, I could have told you that. If you go to any Meniere's support group, hearing support group, you can type in a search in that group about SPI-10001005 Ebselen, and you're going to see a whole slew of things from people. People who are in trial, people who just do Google AI, which is half of it is wrong, um, to all these things. Okay. And you can get all the information you want on it. But I mean, that was a pretty bold move to try to get something that's not approved. It's not even compound pharmacies can't make it yet because they don't know the formula. Okay. And the company's not going to pass out the formula. All right. Even if it does get approved, the company doesn't have to pass out the formula. Okay. So a compound pharmacy can make it. It just, they don't have to. So, um, that's pretty bold. But in the comments, somebody wrote that, oh, it is approved. And no, it's not. It's not approved for anything. Okay. And if you know the background, and this is what I always tell you is do your research. Epsilon has been tried on numerous ailments and numerous conditions, and it's not passed any of them. Okay. And I really don't know the history of what they tried it on. Like, I know what they've tried it on, but not like how far it got into the things. Into the trial or the approval. I just know it's not approved. They tried it for arthritis, didn't approve it. They tried it for diabetes, didn't approve it. They tried it as a heart medication, didn't approve it. Tried it. There was something else. Depression, they didn't approve. Okay, but this with the formula, it's showing some light that it might get approved and hopefully help some people. Okay, but it's not over yet. Okay, fast track doesn't mean that it's pushed to the list and they're going to rubber stamp it and move it on. No, it means that it's in that process of now the FDA is going to do their own little trial and they're going to look for side effects. Because the last thing you want to take is medication. Great, it got rid of my tinnitus, but it gave me lymphoma. It gave me leukemia. It gave me a tumor. Okay, that's the last thing you want because then the medicine makes no sense. Is it's taking away something else, which it really doesn't. It just helps with it. It helps with the hearing to get something else. And there are a few drugs out there that are approved, but have caused lymphoma in people. Okay, well, you need to look it up. I think one of them is Humira. Yeah, it does a great job, but it can give you lymphoma. So then, yeah, it's clearing up whatever Humira does, but then you're on chemo. So it's like it's rob Peter to pay Paul type of thing. So yeah, you got to do your research. If you don't do that research, it's you're just going to be posting stuff and hoping it sticks to the wall. Here's a story that I heard um, about two guys. Okay, it's not religious, but it does have something. It does have a religious overtone. Okay, two guys golfing, and one guy, and I'm sure this has happened to a lot of us. One guy says to the other guy, "Hey, you Christian?" And the guy goes, "No, no, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in that." And the other guy says, "Well, have you ever read the Bible?" "No, no, no, no. I just don't believe it." And well, the other guy says, "Well, you're not an atheist. You're a moron." And he went, "What do you mean?" He said, "Most atheists know the Bible back and forth, up and down, all around, and have studied it and have determined that there is no God, and I don't want to, and I don't believe this. But they know the Bible better than probably the Pope." And the same thing with the Quran and the Torah. They know all these things because they've studied it. And what they've come up with was that there is no God. You just skip over everything because you hear one person say something and determine that you're an atheist. So you're not an atheist, you're a moron. The moral of the story is the guy didn't research it. He just ran with it. Do you get what I'm saying? He didn't research it. He didn't go and open a Bible. He didn't go to a Bible study. He didn't even look at other gospels that aren't in the Bible. He just said somebody said that God was not real, and he ran with it. It's the same thing here, you know, because we've got a fantasy and reality type of situation. Fantasy is people thinking this is going to work for everybody, and it's going to clear up my tinnitus completely, and I'll hear again, and all this other stuff. When in reality, it helps deal with the tinnitus, and you might get back some of your hearing. The fantasy part of it is because a couple of people have said it. Oh, my vertigo seemed to stop. So it must be a cure for Meniere's disease. In reality, you just had either a placebo effect or you're in a, you're in a remission. It didn't cure you of anything. So these are the things you got to do before you make statements or even call a doctor. I'm shocked that that woman called the doctor wanting a prescription for Ebselen. Um, you got to do your research and stop using Google AI. Okay, Google AI is not good for information. It's just not. Because they're pulling little bits and pieces from what they find on the internet and mixing them up together. I've done it where I've typed in something that I knew the whole story and it gave me a mismatch. And one of them was I typed in the St. Louis Browns baseball team from the 40s. And so I typed them in because they're no longer around. They're another team. They're the Baltimore Orioles. But it was saying that, oh, well, first they're the St. Louis Browns, and then they went to Cleveland, and then they went down here. Then they became the Baltimore Orioles in 1952. Well, no, they didn't go to Cleveland because it was already Cleveland Browns football team there. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not good for information. Do your real research. Look up Ebselen. There is some good things, and I hope it works. I really, really do. But I can tell you right now, in my fantasy, I want it to work for everybody, even though I know it's probably not going to do anything for me with the surgeries I've had and stuff. Um, so I know it might not work for me, but I want it to work for everybody else. I don't want everybody suffering. But in reality, it might work for 50% of the people, maybe 60, but that's good. That's good, but it's not going to work for everything. Because the one thing we all have to remember is we all have Meniere's disease, but we're all different. And like I said, I've been having great luck with this sac decompression surgery. I really have. I mean, going on almost 4.5 months of no vertigo. I've been very, very lucky, very, very blessed. But I also know a person that had the surgery and they still have vertigo. So, you know, not everything is going to work for everybody. I know people who've had laparoscopectomies, like I had in 2019, and it did nothing for them. Where I've had laparoscopectomy, and I got a couple of good years out of it. I got a couple of good years out of it. I've no vertigo, but you still get the tinnitus, you still get the ear fullness, you still get all this stuff. Even with this, you still get the ear fullness. Today, my ear's full, and I think it's just a combination of ragweed allergy and crappy weather, and probably that hurricane that's, I don't know what they're doing. One time they're saying it's going to go right out to sea. Another time they're saying it's going to come inward a little closer to New England. I don't know. When it gets here, it gets here. I can't. Ugh. I'll spend the day in bed if it comes here. But yeah, I mean, but the air's full. It still is. And it does drip. I can hear like a faucet go clink, clink, clink. So on that note, I really just wanted to get it out there because there are so many misconceptions about things with dealing with us with veneers. I mean, like today, somebody posted a video of a guy supposedly a doctor, and he just didn't know. And he's an ENT and a otolaryngologist. He really didn't know anything about veneers. It literally looked like he was reading from Google AI. I mean, I ended up having to delete the video because it was just so much misinformation from someone who's a quote doctor. And and to my buddy who probably will comment on this because it has to do with Ebselen, um, he'll comment it on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not a doctor because you never do your research, and you're willing to try it if it's gonna, you'll take it and wow, get rid of my tinnitus in 5 minutes. And 5 minutes later, you'll drop dead of a heart attack. Well, at least I got rid of my tinnitus, but I'm dead now. So I'm saying, I want it to pass. I want it to be good, but I'm also realistic. Let's be realistic. Okay, that's I mean the name of the video. Let's be realistic here. Okay, not fantasy, not hear that one word, tune everything out. Like I said, I live with someone like that. My wife does that, and I love her to death. But there's sometimes it's like, like I'll say, "Hey, look at this pickup truck. I really like this," and I never say the word "I'm buying." I'm running down to the store now, or anything. And all of a sudden, she's got me putting us further into debt and all this other stuff. I'm like, I just said, look at it. I didn't say I'm buying it. I mean, I plan on buying one for my 60th birthday next year. But yeah, I'm not gonna go run out and buy a truck right now. I don't need one. I don't need a vehicle. I've got a 2015 Nissan Murano with 104,000 miles on it and runs great. And I don't do any driving. But for me, to have a pickup truck is just something I always wanted. And I'm going to treat myself. So, other than that, I hope you have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.